So if you turn your head left next to your headrest, you'll see Cockpit LT. There's a switch on the wall. Do you see that? It is by the left of your head. So you have to turn your head right around. Hello?
Yes, that's right.
You see it?
Yes.
Yep, flick that to turn on light. The lights won't turn on because we need battery power. So, do you see the pocket calculator thing by your right leg? It's kind of where the electrical system is in the A10. Do you see that?
Yeah.
All right, on the wall above it.
Nav and what is? Yep.
Yep. Ignore that. Above it, you've got BAT1 and BAT2 for battery and stuff like that. Do you see those? On the wall just above the pocket.
Oh, yeah, X DC and BAT2.
Okay, so that's external power,
yeah.
BAT1 and BAT2. So lift the covers and flick on battery 1 and battery 2. And you'll see the light on the wall comes on.
Battery 1, battery 2 on. Close covers.
Close the covers, correct. Okay, now if you talk to ground control, you can get some external power on because the batteries aren't going to be able to provide AC for all of our systems. Now, just like the A10, you can turn the aircraft on and then the engines provide the AC power, or we can use ground to basically plug us in. So on the throttle, you know the mic switch on your throttle, the black thumb switch? If you lift that up, it should come up with the radio menu. Let me know if it does. Yeah? If you press up.
This is on my Warthog stick we're talking about.
Yeah, you know the black top switch where your thumb is? The black thumb switch?
And
if you press that up.
Underneath the red one?
So the red one is the bottom one. The top one is a black one. And it's the microphone switch. To talk. So it's your push to talk on the Warthog.
Right hand throttle. Big toggle.
The right hand throttle, the right side where your thumb is.
Yeah, got it now. I'm looking at the...
Yep. So it says flight, wingman 2, wingman 3, wingman 4.
Yeah. It's alright. I was looking at the joystick, dickhead.
No, throttle. So do you have the...
Isn't it?
So now you've got the menu for communications, correct?
Got main. It's got flight.
Yep, that's your main radio. Yeah. So now the opposite side panel, so the opposite from the pocket calculator thing, you've got a whole bunch of switches and dials and stuff. Do you see? It should be pretty small. It looks like an old some numbers there with some red dials. Yes. The number says 124 000. Okay, so that's our frequency. So that's where you dial in the VHF radio frequency. Next to that, you've got a red. It looks like a red button, but it's actually nothing. And next to that, you've got a black dial. And the black dial is pretty hard to read, but I think it says
SPU9 radio communicator selector. Is that it?
Yes, switch that to ground crew. So the right-hand selection is ground crew. Yep.
Yeah, it's on the right-hand side now, yeah.
Yep, so that's saying ground crew. Now we want to use the intercom to talk to the ground crew. So going back to the opposite side, past the batteries, we've got external AC, some other AC switches, Inv Auto, which is the inverter, which is on to begin with. That's nice. Then we've got the fuel pump section. Do you see the fuel pump section?
Yes.
There's 5 switches there. That's nice. We'll flick them soon. Beneath that, we've got radio switches to turn stuff on. And you'll see that the very forward one says intercom. And that's what we want to turn on.
Done.
All right, now press F8. And it should go to the ground crew menu, and then F3 to choose ground electric power, and then F1 to turn on.
Request to turn on ground power.
Copy. He's done it.
Cool. So he says ground power is now on in a weird Russian accent.
Now on.
All right, now back to the battery switches. You see you've got external DC and external AC to the forward and aft of the battery switches. Turn both of those on. and you'll see lights come up forward of that, indicating that we're using ground power.
Correct.
Okay, so now we've got power to the aircraft. You don't have to do that. You don't have to talk to the ground crew and get it on, but it's probably better. Like
for us beginners to start up, so we don't flatten the batteries.
Otherwise you're basically going to be turning on the aircraft, and you've got to rev up the engines to 100%, and then AC comes on, and all your systems turn on. So you're kind of driving a dead aircraft before that. Okay, so now that we've got power, we're going to switch on one of our main flight computers called the ABRIS. And do you see on the front dash, on the right-hand side, there's a very large portrait screen?
It looks like an iPad.
Yep, it is the Russian version of an iPad from the 1980s, correct? So what you're going to do is you're going to flip the switch to the bottom left of it. You'll see there's just an up-down switch, and you'll see it says, and it says starting BIOS and
correct.
Windows 95 or something.
Windows
starts loading.
3.11.
That's it. Cool. Okay, so now that's one part of our systems. The pocket calculator, which I'm calling the pocket calculator, that's actually called the PVI-800, and it's what drives our autopilot, and it kind of duplicates the ABRIS without actually, like the ABRIS, it's a bit weird. The ABRIS is like a navigation system that you can use. PVI-800, that pocket calculator thing, is another one, and they don't really talk to each other. And the pocket calculator one is an INS system, so it's inertia, and it drives the autopilot. And the other one is a satellite-driven system, which is quite nice, but doesn't drive the autopilot. So don't worry too much about that, but you've got to get both of them going. So you see the pocket calculator, and to the left of it, you've got dials and switches.
Correct.
All right, so there's one there. The switch on near the right-hand side says on, off on. Switch that to on.
The nav data link power now on.
Yep. So we've got nav. Then switch the left dial, nav mode, from off. Right-click until it says OPER, operation.
That's a bit blurry. I'm not sure how far around that is.
You want it to be pointing straight forward. Press on the number pad. You've got slash and star. Star zooms in, slash zooms out.